Hi guys, excuse my appearance. I'm getting over a cold and I also just kind of don't care today. Um, so my liquid diet started on the 4th and it was actually really easy because I had a cold. On the 6th, I'm sorry, it started on the 5th. Anyway, on the 6th, I went to see my surgeon for my pre-op appointment and she did not like that I was sick. So she canceled my surgery, and now I'm looking at March 31st for my new surgery date. So kind of hard to be excited about that. Other than that, everything was kind of going well. I had lost the weight that I needed to lose. I did my pre-op appointment with anesthesia or with a nurse or something. I don't really understand how that I had to have 2 pre-op appointments. And when they called to reschedule my surgery, they said, "Oh, where did you see anesthesia?" And I was like, "This location." And they were like, "No, that was just a nurse." So I don't know. But one of my pre-op appointments went well. It was great, simple, everything was wonderful. And then my other pre-op appointment was the one with the surgeon, and she was sick as a dog. And I said to her, she walked in the room, maybe this was a mistake, but I don't know. She walks in the room and she reaches out her hand to shake my hand, and I said, "Oh, I'm getting over a cold. I don't want to get you sick, but nice to see you." And she was like, "Oh yeah, I know how that goes." And then she goes, "Well, how sick are you?" And I said, "Oh no, I'm just getting over a cold. Like it wasn't that bad. It's just like a nose thing." And then she was like, "Well, do you have a cough?" And I said, "No." She said, "Do you have a sore throat?" And I said, "No." So then she goes, "Okay, well, I'm just going to have to email anesthesia because they don't like to operate if you're sick or something within whatever." So at that moment, I knew that it was getting canceled. And I just thought that for sure they would maybe push me back a week or something. Like, something. But instead, I'm being punished for being sick, like as if it's in my control. And so now she offered. Sorry, I'm very upset about this. She offered at first. She called me on. Oh, she didn't back up. I'll start from the beginning. Okay, so I walk into the room. I tell her I'm sick. She says, "Oh, I know how that goes. I'm kind of sick too." Well, kind of was a super understatement because she was sneezing and coughing and hacking and blowing her nose all throughout my appointment. And I just thought, like, whatever. She's obviously not performing surgeries today. This is like her office day and she's a really busy lady. So whatever. She is a medical professional. She obviously wouldn't be coming to work if she were sick, right? Right? So she's reading me the risks because she has to go over like all my paperwork again, and she's like reading me the list, and she's like, blood clots, internal bleeding. Like, she just seemed like she was holding back both death, throwing up, and like passing out. And so I was like, well, okay, this is weird. So she leaves the room and I'm like, okay, that's great. So my surgery is being canceled. Like, I just knew in that moment. But she didn't tell me when to hear back or when we were going to hear anything from anesthesia about changing my appointment. So then I continued doing the liquid diet for 4 days. And she calls me on the 4th day of my liquid diet and is like, "Oh yeah, hey, I'm sorry, we have to cancel your surgery." And I was like, "Well, when is it going to be rescheduled?" And she said, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, when do you have another opening?" She said, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, when am I going to get a phone call from scheduling to reschedule?" And she said, "I don't know." And I just feel like that's fine if you had to cancel my surgery for me being sick and you don't want me to be sick within a certain amount of time before surgery, that's great. Medical precautions, whatever. But you could at least have the decency to be like, oh, hey, I'm really sorry, but my first available date isn't until fucking April. So have a really wonderful time waiting until April. Sorry, bye. Instead of just a bunch of I don't knows. So then she said, you'll probably get a call from the scheduler within a week. So I called the scheduler myself and I was like, crying like an idiot, and I was like, oh, she canceled my surgery, so I need to reschedule. The scheduler is a very kind woman, and she was like, well, let me talk to Dr. MacArthur and see if we can, sorry, I'm covered in glitter, see if we can reschedule you for like swap you with somebody. Because if someone else is ready, then maybe she'll let them skip a couple days of the liquid diet. Because some places only have a 3-day liquid diet. Some places only have a 2-day liquid diet. And like, it just, whoa. Okay, so mine's 2 weeks. So she's like, maybe she'll let someone skip a whole week of the liquid diet. Like, it's possible. So she calls me back, or she doesn't call me back until, like, I call her at the end of the day. And I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry to keep bothering you, but I'm really anxious. Like, you're not there over the weekend, so like, what's the deal? And so she was like, well, we haven't found anybody, but if we find someone, I'll definitely let you know. You're on the cancellation list, but it's looking like mid-April. So I spend the weekend, there's a Facebook group of all the people getting surgery through this group, this hospital. So I spend the weekend finding someone who might be willing to switch with me. And obviously there's a large incentive there of A, you're getting surgery sooner, B, you can skip a whole week of the liquids, because the scheduler told me that she agreed to let someone skip a whole week of liquids, and that they found one person, but they weren't quite ready because they actually had a test they had to do, and they wouldn't have enough time to do that test and get the results. And so I was like, okay, cool, so she's willing to let them skip that. So I found 3 people who were willing to switch with me. It's not the scheduler's job. I'm not upset with her. She got other things to do. It's not her job to try and find people to flip-flop. So I was like, okay, I'll do this over the weekend. I mean, whatever. So I call her Sunday night. I leave a message. And I'm like, these 3 people are willing to switch with me. This date, and this date. You know, I haven't been sick since Saturday or whatever. And so that would be 2 weeks. Because she said the anesthesia wanted me to not be sick 2 to 4 weeks before surgery. Well, when I went and saw her was 2 weeks before surgery, and I was getting over the cold. And then the day after I saw her, I was sicker than I was ever because she got me more sick, which I'm sorry, I'm so angry. So angry. So anyway, I was like, look, I haven't been sick since Saturday, so this should probably work out. And this guy even has his pre-op appointment with Dr. MacArthur, so you wouldn't even have to like move anyone else around. You wouldn't have to try and squeeze someone in for a pre-op appointment. Like, this guy's already got his. It's just the surgery would be 1 week, exactly 1 week sooner. Like, that would work out. So she calls me this morning and she's like, oh no, I'm sorry, he can't miss a week of liquids. And I was like, well, what? So whatever. So now she was like, oh, I looked at the schedule, and, you know, the first available opening we have is March 31st. So if we have any cancellations, I'll give you a call. So now I'm looking at March 31st, and I feel like giving up, and I don't want to fucking do this anymore because I've literally been living on eggshells for the past, like, year. Literally, it's going to be a full year if I wait until March. So I don't know anymore what I'm gonna do or what I want to do even, or like, if I give up now, then come March I'm gonna be pissed off that I'm not having surgery. But if I don't give up, then I literally have to have protein shakes every day for the next 2 months or 2.5 months, because yesterday, so I continued doing liquids because I was like hopeful that someone will be able to switch with me like relatively soon. So yesterday I ate for the first time, and I had grilled chicken, like a small, like little tiny grilled chicken breast with some like this much cheese, and I gained 2 pounds. So those are my struggles. That's why I'm in this program. That's why I got here. So I'm just like really, really angry that I have to continue to live on eggshells for another month and a half. And I wanted to try and see if I could go to the other hospital, but the other hospital does not accept, or my insurance won't cover the other hospital, even though member services told me they would, because I don't have the right kind of plan or something. I don't know. This whole thing is so stupid, and I'm really mad at Kaiser for only having one hospital in the whole region. There's one hospital that does this surgery, and there's only 2 doctors, and they're both backed up by 3 months. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so then when I went to my pre-op appointment, she was like, oh, well, do you remember this, that, and the other? And I'm like, no, of course I don't. My program, my 6-month program, you make me go through a 6-month program and then make me wait 6 months to have surgery? Like, no, I don't freaking remember. It's been 6 months. Why would I remember all these things that you made me learn? Like, I sure I have my notes and I can go back and reference, but like, Jesus, this whole thing has been so frustrating. I just feel like everyone is out to get me. I mean, my first appointment with Dr. MacArthur was in October, and I would have had surgery shortly after, but I had gained 4 pounds or 5 pounds, and so she pushed me back, and it wound up that appointment moving by 1 week, pushed me back by 3 months. 3 months. So if she would have been in a better mood that day, I guess, I don't even know, because there are other people who've gained 13 pounds and still continued and been fine and had their surgery. So I gained 4 or 5 or whatever my number was, and she pushed me back by a week, and it wound up changing my potential surgery date by 3 months. And now here I am in this boat. I wouldn't be at my pre-op appointment sick if I would have just had my surgery. It would have been 3 months ago. It would have been wonderful. But no, this is where I am. I'm super upset about it. And I just like feel like I have the right to be super dramatic and upset and dorky and lame and dramatic and girly. And I don't think girly is the right word, but you know what I mean. Like, I just... yeah. So that's my boat. That's where I am. So... yeah, I still have a little bit of a cough, but I'm not sick anymore. It's just like leftover. Well, anyway, I guess I'm done ranting. So now you're up to date with my stupid, lame life where everything doesn't work out for me. Have a nice day. Happy Monday.